All right, next up is Jeff Caldwell, notorious Jeff Caldwell. He's going to talk about putting media to work on the farm.
And I have notes. I usually don't have notes when I speak, but because it was for Nathan, I thought I should. And I was going to come up with some big, wonderful description of what I do and everything, but then I grabbed this notebook yesterday to jot some stuff down, and I saw, I don't know, can anybody read that? It says, manure spreaders are huge. I have no idea why the hell I wrote that on there, and I never will, but that's kind of a little snapshot of what my job is. I jot down stuff like manure spreaders are huge, and don't use that when you're drawing. But and you know, one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot lately when we talk about media and the work I do is I've got a 3-year-old daughter, and we're going through potty training right now. I promise my whole theme of my talk isn't along the line that you're kind of seeing develop, but and you know, we're having a hell of a time, and it's pretty tough. But my wife and I both also have iPod touches, and we also subscribe to Netflix. And my 3-year-old daughter, who is still learning how to potty train, can not only turn on my wife's iPod touch and then hit the Netflix icon and select the show that she wants to watch, but also sit there and watch it. And she's not potty trained, but she can operate an iPod touch, which, you know, that's amusing to no end to me, but it also is kind of a reminder of what we're up against, and you know, what the challenges that lie ahead to us, because that 3-year-old, she's going to be 18 and then 20, and you know, she's going to be the consumer, and she's going to be the media consumer, and she's going to be way more media savvy than her old man ever was. And so that's a challenge going ahead. But you know, I'd like to talk first about kind of today's farmers, the audience that we serve, and just kind of give you a little bit, you know, kind of a snapshot of the types of folks that we talk to. Today's farmers are a lot more technology savvy than you think. You know, the old image of the guy out working in the dirt and coming in at night after a long day, that's still, a lot of those things are still true, but today, how many of you, besides John Deere Terra, have been inside a big tractor that's rolled off the equipment line in the last few years? There's just as much, almost literally just as much computer hardware that's in this room right now in the cab of those machines. And so these farmers today know how to operate these machines and do so very efficiently and very effectively, because it is their business. And so the depth of knowledge that goes into understanding some of this hardware and software that they're using in the field every day is pretty amazing. And so they're very tech savvy, and much more so than I think the general consumer thinks. And so that in turn also then changes the information that they want and need on a daily basis, and what they expect on a daily basis. You know, gone are the days where they're satisfied with a monthly farm magazine like Successful Farming Magazine, my employer. There's still immense value to a magazine like that in its own way, but there's also immense value to things that would never see the pages of that magazine. And it's the kind of stuff that guys need on a daily basis, whether they're in their office, in the coffee shop, in their pickup, driving to the field, or in the field itself. And so it changes really what my job as an ag reporter, and I two terms that I really don't love, and the first one is journalist. That seems too kind of important for me. And also another term that I really have come to dislike, and I'll tell you why, is social media. Because anymore, my definition of media, of social media, is just media. And right now, what I do every day is social media. And so it's almost, to me, it's almost becoming an antiquated sort of redundancy, I guess. And so with farmers, we've got a lot of tech-savvy farmers who are out in the field. Some of this equipment, we have auto steer, for example. And so some farmers can be in the field and be sitting in the cab of their tractor and turn around at the end of the row and then start it going down the field, and their tractor knows where to go and knows what to do. And so they've got a lot of time on their hands to fill between that time and the time they've got to turn around again. And so what do? And well, we hope that they're looking at our website the whole time. But they're making a lot more decisions, and they're making business decisions. For example, the grain markets. I don't know how many of you follow the grain markets in this room, but corn is worth about 60 or 160% of what it was, something like that, a couple years ago. I mean, it's a much higher stakes game today, and so some days the grain market may spike up or down, and the ability for a farmer who has quite a bit of skin in the game in that grain market to execute a grain trade based on a market shift that takes place in a 10 or 15 minute time frame can mean thousands or tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars to his bottom line, depending on how much skin he has in the game. So these are major decisions that farmers are making, and that affect their businesses and their livelihoods in general. And so it's a very, in a lot of ways, it's a very serious, the responsibility, we feel a very serious responsibility to meet those needs like that. And so they need the information that's important to their business. And then secondly, and almost sometimes more importantly, they want to interact. They want to hear what other people are saying. And, farming has always been a very, very social business from day one. And, the coffee shop that my granddad sat in and blew smoke at everybody, that's always been a mainstay to our business. And we're in an era now where we're the coffee shop. We provide, and now increasingly, in some ways Facebook is now the coffee shop, and Twitter, to probably a lesser extent today, is also part of that coffee shop. So, now instead of half a dozen guys sitting around the table, it's, thousands, an untold number of people who are entering into these conversations. And so, what does that do then to my job as a magazine writer and a website editor? And that's providing things that we didn't think we would ever need to be providing. Their editorial value as a term has a lot different meaning in a lot different places. Our editor-in-chief of Successful Farming always cringes when I mention in a meeting that, well, that article from the magazine has no editorial value on our website. 2 minutes, okay. But it does in a social space, and vice versa. Those are the articles that are awesome in the magazine. People wouldn't care in a social space. And so that means that my job today is more about listening to the conversations and listening to what everybody's saying in this new era coffee shop, and helping determine what is important, and then doing whatever I need to do to put that in the right context where it's going to be most easily consumed by my users and where they're going to glean the highest value. And because we always have to remember at the end of the day, we're a business to business publication, so we have to offer value to those consumers in ways that will affect their bottom lines and their lives the most. So with that's about all I have, and I guess I'll end. Well, no, I guess I've worked through all my scatological stuff, so sorry about that, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was excellent. Greg, where are you?